Howie this weekend, what you guys expected coming into the season?
Yeah, no question. And whether it be the fall exhibitions we had or, you know, other moments where he's been 100% or just into it. I mean, obviously he had get into a rhythm playing. He's been extraordinary over there. And yeah, some of those other guys just flat out don't make. But the best part about it was the high level of consistency because he got so many repetitions today, in particular with Beam and Halvey just kind of locating the way they did.
What impresses you most about like his IQ and field awareness?
You would like to be able to teach like internal clock, how long, you know, before the guy gets there, and also a first step on a ball, but you really can. I mean, you can make suggestions. So he's really gifted. And to be honest with you, I've said this about a few guys, and I've been fairly correct. The guys that we've had here, he's a long way from being as good as he can be. Getting healthy. We give him some trouble about putting on weight, and he's done that with Coach Q, but he's a long way away from what he needs to be to make it to the big leagues as far as weight and strength goes. Always making adjustments offensively, so his best days are well ahead of him, and we'll look forward to his best days while on our campus still being ahead of him as well.
You talked about how Christian's suspension would give someone else an opportunity.
Yeah.
We saw that with Jake starting that 5-run in second inning. Just what did you see from him today?
Yeah, I mean, get excited. Our guys were tension-free, maybe in part because of it. And Jake went out there, and they were just talking back in the locker room. I didn't see this, but kind of looked out of his normal element in pregame, maybe a little nervous before the game. But when the game starts, you just play. And dang, this far into the year, as much time as these guys have put in the weight room and everywhere else out here, you got to be excited just to be out there and bounce around. And that's what he did. And he helped us defensively as much as anything, but goes without saying that deal there where he hit that ball to left field and started that inning really was pretty dang big.
Tony, you guys have known obviously what this team was capable of. How important was to get the results this weekend to kind of validate it for yourself and see it in action?
Yeah, this is a very sincere answer. We need to understand the goal is to win series and then accomplish that or find a way to execute it. But in all sincerity, I don't know how to say it without I'm trying to sell you on something. It was way more important for our guys to find who they are. And I don't know if it was the series or the loss to Tennessee Tech or just we're deep enough into the year or maybe one of the guys said something, but that was a fun group to be around the last few days and a totally different group. And I would have said that to you regardless of how today's game went for sure. And then even Friday was different. Day two, they kind of built upon what they had been doing. Just personality, conversations, comments. Some of them maybe need to go away a little bit, but they're trying to be creative. They got me doing some show they came up with. I don't know, it starts with a P. I don't know what show it is that they've made up in their own mind. So maybe they want to be in the media, but that's baseball. Be who you are, and so us finding out who we are was a bigger thing.
So who are you?
I think a team that plays loose and is capable of a lot of things, but a team that needs to kind of make up their own mind what they're going to do at the park every day, what they're capable of, and not put too much value on anything else, because anything else is always going to be there. It's not just our team. I know I've been crying about that a little bit, but this is SEC baseball. You're going to have more media, more fans, better facilities, more attention, all kinds of chatter. Fans are going to go back and forth at each other on Twitter. So that ain't going anywhere. But you don't have to put value on it. And I think when you're investing more time in coming up with a goofy show or having your guys back or putting in extra work or things like that, you don't have time for anything else. So again, I think it's a fun group to be around that is a dangerous group when they're playing their best. And we can leave it at that for now.
Considering how his Arkansas outing went?
Yeah, I think now he's been pretty consistent. That was an outlier of an outing, and Arkansas did a good job against him. For whatever reason, it just was a little dicey last weekend for him. So you figured he'd come back with a little extra determination. But like last year, he kind of always seems to be smelling blood a little bit when he's got an opportunity to finish the series in this fashion. But overall, I mean, to me, watching him pitch, I'll go back and watch the video. I think looking at his stat line, he's better than his stat line said. So as good as he was, I think he was even better.
feel Vern's going to take off in this bullpen role? Kind of has 2 outings this weekend with what he did. I know he pitched out of the bullpen in Arkansas as well, but
Yeah, he pitched well at Arkansas. It'd be kind of hard to argue with it if you're watching that game and then just his behavior. It wasn't a plan to use him on Friday, and again, kind of said you want this thing, and his eyes lit up, and he did what was ever asked. And to me, I didn't have any interest in putting him on the available list today unless he went to one of our other guys, and he went to Richard and Frank and said he can get us 1 or 2 innings. And for a while there, it didn't look like we would use him, but you look smart anytime you use him, especially the way that 9th inning went. And, hey, Combsy, really emotional out. I mean, their best hitter on paper, or most dangerous hitter on paper, and after kind of a quirky deal too, where I guess he noticed the shot clock, all that stuff, but that was pretty good. So could have ran him back out there too. It's nice to know that he's turned into what he can be on the mound, because Frank is awfully high on him.
You mentioned Maui individually, but what does his play this weekend, both at the plate and in the field, do for this team when he's producing like that?
Yeah, it changes the dynamic of the lineup, because he really can be anywhere in the lineup, but he seems to take comfort in being in that leadoff spot or that first spot. As of late, he's kind of adjusted with 2 strikes. And so now, even if he doesn't do something on the stat sheet that's productive, his at-bats are more competitive. And then in the field, it's something our pitchers want. I mean, Frank is throw strikes, throw strikes, throw strikes. Well, you got to give those guys good feedback. And, having a guy like that behind him that can shore up the defense, and other guys playing really well defensively too. C. Scott made a non-easy one early there. It provides good feedback for the guys. Not that they shouldn't take confidence. And like Halvey overcomes a situation where maybe he thinks he's out of an inning. That's how you approach it. You get right back up there and you do it again. But it sure is nice when you got someone, doing it all behind you.
Tony, Hensley's been a bit of a developmental guy a little bit in the program, kind of working his way up. What were your expectations for him this season? I mean, I know you never know which way it's going to go, but what were your thoughts on what he could be going?
Yeah, a good indication was he goes out to Santa Barbara, one of my favorite coaches, and Coach Pintard, and one of the best programs, probably the nicest, Santa Barbara, one of the nicest places you can go in the summer to go play, and they always win, and he had a great summer. So it looked like a really good sign for him, and we kind of mixed him around, even first base. We were looking for ways to get him involved in the lineup. Ultimately, it's fair to say he forced our hand. And coaches like to say that all the time. I don't make out the lineup, you do. And a lot of that is true. And he's made it an absolute must that he needs to be in the outfield and, of course, on the offensive side as well. And that's my favorite kind of player. I know this portal thing and COVID even are making all these rosters older, but a Trey Lipscomb, a Jake Rucker, Hunter Ensley, a guy that maybe gets a little bit of a taste and then more and then more. Those are the best guys, or the guys I like being around most. Not that I don't like anybody else.
You were slow playing some pitchers earlier in the year, but where's a guy like Wyatt Evans? Is there a decision made on him?
Yeah, it's probably a deal now where he'll redshirt. We've got some lefties that are throwing the ball well for us, and you come into the year with expectations of upping your innings, getting to 20, 30 innings, and that would be a pretty good roll of the dice. You're supposed to say die or dice. That'd be like you're in Vegas, trying to win some money. And my money's on him the next time he suits up and throws for us, because he throws strikes. He's not scared, and he's got really good stuff. But he's been sore off and on ever since the summer. And you guys have been great about coming out and watching and learning about the team. You've seen him throw really well, but there's other times you're not seeing him where it's just not feeling right, or he's got to take days off. So just not enough momentum there, and maybe better safe than sorry there.
What about Zach Joyce? Is there an update on him?
Yeah, he, decent chance, and I'm out of my lane here, but decent chance, kind of some scar tissue. A lot of times when a guy has Tommy John, that can happen where scar tissue forms and then it, breaks apart. So if that is the case, it's probably going to take some time for soreness to go away and all that. And again, I'm out of my lane. I'm speaking for him. Probably a pretty good little scare for him. It's been an interesting career, starting at Farragut and then over at Walters and here, and different things happening. So probably a little bit of a mental side too, of catching his breath and then getting his feet back underneath him.
Could he pitch again this season?
Yeah, for sure. We'll kind of see how that builds up, but.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Coach.
Yeah.